Ladies and gentlemen, Keefe D, the suspect in the Tupac murder, has now got new attorneys. Carl Arnold is no longer on the case. 3 times the charm. First he had a public defender. Then he had Carl Arnold. Now he has 2 new high-profile attorneys. Is this strategy or desperation? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some of the straight game.
Life is like the cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Keefe D, for whatever reason, his attorney is no longer his attorney. Carl Arnold, the guy who's been strategizing thus far, is no longer on the case. Keefe D has hired 2 new lawyers. And like I said, once again, this is also connected to the battery conviction that Keefe D caught while incarcerated, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, your boy Delray, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. We gonna get into it. We don't sugarcoat it. We give you nothing but straight facts. A truth teller. Like I said, once again, we're going to sugarcoat nothing. Today, we got a wild update in the Duane Keefe D. Davis saga. You know, the only living suspect, as was said in his book, other than Suge Knight. Like I said, I think he forgot about Suge Knight when he wrote that. The other living suspect in the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur. And the man, prosecutors say, masterminded the infamous Vegas drive-by after the MGM Grand altercation with Orlando Anderson. However, Keefe D is saying that somehow, some way, that Reggie Wright Jr. was the mastermind. And like I said, we're going to see how this breaks out with this new legal counsel, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. This is shocking. And like I said, is this a proper strategy, or is this desperation? And, you know, a lot of people are wondering, what is the real reason that his latest attorney, Carl Arnold, stepped down, if you will? So like I said, but this story, it's not just about the murder case. It's about the in-custody drama at the jailhouse battery, after the jailhouse battery conviction, when he got into a fight and a sudden lawyer switch up, right? That could shake things up in court. Let's go first of all with the battery conviction, the fight that took place inside the jail. So there's a backdrop. Keefe D is sitting in jail awaiting trial for the Tupac murder. But back in April, when he was in custody, he caught another case, a battery charge. And not just caught it, he was convicted of it, ladies and gentlemen, for the people that don't know. Fast forward to Thursday, this past Thursday morning, and Keefe D appears before the judge, Judge Nadia Krall, for what's supposed to be his sentencing in the battery case. So this past Thursday, he appears in court for the sentencing in the battery case, but instead of sentencing, the courtroom hears something, some breaking news, if you will, right? Keefe D has basically dumped his lawyer. So it's being said that he dumped Carl Arnold. I don't know why. Like I said, I thought Carl Arnold was giving his best effort, you know, from what we had seen in the filings and the things like that, but for some reason, Keefe D is no longer going along with the attorney, Carl Arnold, and has hired 2 new bigwigs, if you will. And we don't know what the situation is behind this whole situation, but this is what it is. You know, the lawyer switch up. You know, what's really going on. Carl Arnold, that's the attorney who basically handled Keefe D's battery trial, as well as representing him in the Tupac murder situation. Tells the judge that Keefe switched lawyers 2 days earlier in his murder case. So, like I said, once again, they go into court. Carl Arnold's expecting to represent Keefe D. That's when Carl Arnold basically informs the judge. He tells the judge that Keefe switched lawyers 2 days earlier in the murder case. The new lawyers are Robert Draskovich and Michael Pandullo, two heavy hitters in the Las Vegas legal scene, ladies and gentlemen. And now Keefe wants to these same guys to represent him in the battery case too. But here's where it gets messy. Draskovich and Pandullo haven't been retained for the battery conviction yet. So Arnold can't just walk away, right? So although Keefe D has retained them for the murder trial, Keefe D wants them to represent him in the assault case too. And he hasn't, the other two lawyers haven't been retained yet for that case. And so Carl Arnold just can't walk away from that case. So basically, you know what happens in that situation. The delayed sentence and the Supreme Court moves. Got to understand this. This is like I said, I don't really know what this is, if Keefe D's trying to buy more time or what. So basically, Carl Arnold says that let's delay the sentencing until we figure out who's really representing Keefe. Chief Deputy District Attorney Mark Giacomo basically says he's fine with the delay, but he doesn't want Carl Arnold off the hook unless someone else is officially on record for this case, meaning this assault case. So he doesn't want Carl Arnold to just step away and then Keefe D is left hanging in limbo and now can't be sentenced in this assault case. Like I said, the other two lawyers have been hired for the murder case, but like I said, Carl Arnold was still the attorney of record for the assault case. The judge pushes the sentencing back till August 28th. So the 28th of this month, Keefe D will be sentenced in the assault case, right? But here's the kicker. Just last month, listen to this. This is where it gets kind of murky. Just last month, Carl Arnold filed the petition with the Nevada Supreme Court, right? So he filed the petition with the Nevada Supreme Court, trying to overturn Judge Kral's decision to deny Keefe D a new battery trial, right? Listen. So he filed a petition last month, unbeknownst to the public, right, with the Nevada Supreme Court to try to overturn Judge Kral's decision to deny Keefe a new battery trial. And on July 29th, he also asked the High Court to dismiss Keefe's murder case altogether. So there's a lot of legal maneuvering happening in the background, right? So now, understanding what that is, Carl Arnold, attorney of record before these other two guys were hired, basically filed a petition asking the Nevada Supreme Court to overturn Keefe D's Judge Kral's decision to deny Keefe D a new battery trial. So he was trying to get a new trial in that situation. And so the judge had denied him. He trying to take it a step higher. And then simultaneously or shortly thereafter, right? And on July 29th, he also asked the same Nevada State Supreme Court to dismiss Keefe's murder case altogether. So there's a lot of legal wrangling going on, right? In the background. Check it out now. So look, the bigger picture. And I'm going to understand what Carl Arnold's situation, what he's doing. So usually, not all the time, usually when a situation comes and happens like this, it's like this. It's usually after a conviction that you go to the higher court to ask them to overturn the conviction, right? Carl Arnold basically went before there was any conviction. And the reason why I think he did that was because Carl Arnold's basically saying, hey, you know what? I don't think that he thinks that Keefe D can win this case from that perspective. So go to the Supreme Court, ask him to dismiss it. If they don't dismiss it, it's more than likely he's going to be convicted, right? This is, my best judgment on it. He's going to be convicted. And then trying to go back to them and saying, well, can you overturn the conviction? It's crazy. So Carl Arnold was setting it up probably for a situation where Keefe D could probably get a plea bargain, right? So, but Keefe D switched it up. Keefe D hired 2 new attorneys, and also says he doesn't want Carl Arnold to be working on the assault case no more either. Basically, Keefe D is firing Carl Arnold. As much as, you know, one would not like to think so, that's what's happening, right? So now, let's take a zoom out, and this is the bigger picture. We're going to zoom out a little bit. This move to switch to Draskovich and Pandullo is strategic. Draskovich has represented outlaw bikers, Olympic athletes, and celebrities, and he's known for dismantling complex cases. Pandullo's have been flipping verdicts and getting charges thrown out for over a decade. So these 2 new guys basically are high profile. We're going to see how they maneuver. You can expect some kind of press conference or some kind of situation coming from them soon. So the way I see it, Keefe D is stacking his defense team with people who know how to fight high profile, high pressure cases. Whether this is about winning the Tupac murder trial, reversing the battery conviction, or both, this is chess, not checkers. Now, once again, will it work after they have all of what they have? Like I say, will they withdraw the Nevada State Supreme Court motions based on the fact that they didn't file them? We should possibly hear about that soon. And remember, the murder trial has already been delayed till February 2026 because the defense claims they've got new witnesses and evidence. So now, the fact that, hey, you know, what new revelation has come about, what more Keefe D is going to reveal, is it going to have anything to do with Reggie Wright Jr., and all of the other things that have recently come out? Like I said, Carl Arnold had made the distinction that, hey, you know what? This was Reggie Wright Jr. That he was the mastermind behind this. So like I said, once again, there's a lot that's going to be revealed here. We're going to see what happens in regards to that. Like I said, so listen, check it out now. So what does this mean for the case, really, truly, honestly, right? Is Keefe D making the last-ditch move to save himself? Or is this just more courtroom chaos and a trial that's been almost 30 years in the making? We got to ask ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, chime in and tell me what you think about this, because I'm interested to hear. Drop your thoughts in the comments. As always, no gossip, no clickbait, just straight game. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, also, we've heard what Suge Knight has just recently come out and said in regards to Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. And like I said, you know, those 2 stories are basically lining up. Is there something that we don't know about that Keefe D has to reveal in this case in regards to Reggie's involvement as far as he's saying and being the mastermind behind this case, ladies and gentlemen? Like I said, once again, this is going to get interesting. This is going to get very interesting. So like I said, chime in, tell me what you guys think. Keefe D switches up his lawyers for the 3rd time. You know what I mean? Once, twice, and 3 times a lady. You know what I mean? And so, is this going to work? Or was it a mistake in him firing Carl Arnold? And we're going to see what happens shortly. I'm sure that the new lawyers are going to definitely have a press conference and going to bolster, do what they do. And we're gonna see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, your boy Delray, straight gang.
Life is like those cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.